We are live. We are live. How's everyone doing today?
Hey.
Amanda, how are you doing in Mexico today?
I'm great. It's hot in Mexico today.
I bet it's hot here in Vancouver.
What's the temperature there? It was 26 here, like at 6 o'clock this morning.
32 degrees over here.
How much?
32 degrees.
Jeepers. Nice.
Yep.
Well done. That's why we're almost the same color.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable time to be here in Vancouver. The weather's fantastic. I know that the weather's always fantastic for you in Mexico, so it doesn't really matter when you're there because it's always hot. But I guess at this time of the year, it's probably even hotter. So speaking of hot, the markets have been hot. Stock market's been hot. Cryptos have been hot all year, despite the fact that many predicted, and I mean almost everybody predicted, a recession in 2023. 2023, like usual, the market always does the opposite of what everybody expects. This year has been an absolute boom in the market for tech stocks, AI stocks, the NASDAQ, S&P 500, Dow Jones, Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the top cryptos, all up.
Well, you know what? Wasn't it just January that everything launched? It was January when the markets went, and here we are, 5th of July. Oh, happy 4th of July and happy Canada Day, everybody.
Yep. Happy holidays for everyone in Canada, United States, and everywhere else in the world. And it's been an amazing, remarkable first half of 2023. And we just want that momentum to continue for the second half of 2023. And typically, this is the worst time of the year for the markets. This is the slowest time of the year for the markets. Everyone's on vacation. It's hot outside. People don't want to be sitting in front of their computers for July and August usually. I'm not to say they won't. I mean, we're doing it. We're always in front of the computers. But the average person is at the beach, going outside, boating, they're doing things. They're enjoying their summers. For the most part right now in North America. And let's talk about the markets. What do you see in the markets?
Well, starting to see a little bit of drama. So like we always do.
I can't see your screen though.
Snap. Okay, let me share my trading view here. Bear with me.
Yeah, no worries.
There we go. Now you see it?
Now I see it, yes.
Okay. Well,
perfect.
Before we talk about Bitcoin, because that's my favorite thing to talk about, I think we need to look at the broader markets. So what happened today? Powell, we already knew that Fed minutes were coming out and it was already a big topic. Like they leaked the bag a little bit a few weeks ago, right?
Yep.
And so now the bag has been leaked. Last time we did this live was when he started talking about, needing to raise interest hikes again and all this kind of stuff. And here we are. Now, this news pretty much just hit the market about half an hour ago. So looks like it's a mixed bag of opinions already. Like the NAS is still green. The Russell 2000 is really green. You see that?
Yep.
And the US 30 isn't so sure what to do. So it had a pretty big drop this morning. And then now it's just kind of sitting there, but I think it's going to start coming down now because it's really been up and down since market opened this morning.
Well, we also have to talk about the fact that the market's pretty high up. I mean, when you look at the 52-week high, we're right there. I mean, we're right by the 52-week high.
Sell in May and go away didn't happen this year.
No.
Which is really weird.
The market's really high. So as an investor right now, I think you need to be very cautious with chasing some of the big tech stocks that have done very well and AI stocks, because a lot of them are trading at or around 52-week highs. I think when we talked about, the Ubers and, the Teslas and the Metas that were down, and we were talking about them and they've all come up now and done extremely well. I think now is where you need to start thinking about taking profits. And I think you need to wait for the next drop, the next correction to buy into a lot of those trades, because it's no longer a good trade. It's a momentum trade now.
Hallelujah to that. I mean, like, that's what we're saying is that we didn't have a sell in May and go away, which was really odd. So we knew it was coming. Now we just saw Apple popped a 52-week high.
Yep.
Facebook's popped a 52 or Meta has popped a 52-week high. We have a lot of 52-week high being popped, a lot of them. I pulled up Costco earlier. I think I still kept it on my list. 52-week high, Walmart 52-week high. There's so many of them because we haven't had a sell in May. But this is the 5th of July, and Powell just admitted today that he thinks he's going to have to do a quarter point for the next 2 quarters. So that brings us all the way to Christmas rally.
But that's not new news. We knew that, right? Like we knew that because
that.
he did say when they did the pause that they're probably going to have to do another 2 rate hikes. Like he said it. So I don't think that's a surprise. If anything, if they can do the next couple meetings, 25 and then 25, I think what that does is it would set us up for a nice rally if he paused at the end of the year for another late year rally. If they do 1 or 2 pauses, I think that would be phenomenal. Because I mean, how much higher do you really want to go with the rates? I mean, you know, you're already at 5%.
That's what's causing the real estate to filter, right?
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like you're already at 5%. Yeah, you do another 50 cents. So now you're up, 5.5%.
Yeah.
You know, like you're not going to want to go too much higher than that.
Agreed. Like he's just, and then we also have US elections all start happening around that time as well.
That's right.
So they don't want to be pushing the market into a flat out recession come beginning of the year, because that's not going to look so good.
But if they have an increase, let's say here at the end of July, and then they have an increase in September, and then they pause in October, that's boom for the market. October, November. And if they do like another pause, let's say November, December, boom, like that just sets us off for a great start to 2024.
That's right. Because this is what the minutes were basically saying is that, okay, I have the whole thing here and I know you can't see it, but I just wanted to give you like a couple little things here, so the participants are favoring a 25 basis point increase, noted that the labor market remained tight and momentum in economic activity has been stronger than earlier expected. So it's like they did a pause as an experiment, and this is what Canada and Europe both did. And then they went back to hiking. So basically, we already had 4 consecutive, then we had a pause. And now it looks like they're going to go for a couple more. They want to bring inflation back to a 2% goal. So it looks like that. I mean, today the ISM came out, like marketing manufacturing report, and that was showing lower than expected. So that means the economy isn't so good as they wanted it to be right now, which favors him to do another rate hike. That comes at the 25th of July.
Yeah. So
that first one is July 25th.
That's right. So that's why I think, yeah, he's going to do it for sure. And the market's hot. So why wouldn't you do it? I mean, we've been running. So nothing's been slowing this market down.
But look at how we've been peaking out here. Like it's like every time we hit this 34.5, we're pulling back.
Yeah, that's why I think that, like, personally, if I'm an investor, which I am, I've been selling. I've been in a sell mode. I've been selling everything that's been doing well. I have not been buying. I've been in sell mode because everything is high.
Exactly.
Right. So where I have been buying actually is more like resource stocks, which are down right now. So I feel like that's going to be good. I think gold, lithium, silver, resource plays are setting up nicely. But like tech stocks, AI stocks, for me personally, that move is already done.
I'm not so sure about that.
I'm not chasing. I'm not. Hey, listen.
We'll get into that later.
That's just an opinion. I might be wrong. I'm not saying it can't go higher. Of course it can go higher. For me personally, though, I can't wrap my head around the fundamentals because
there is no fundamentals. It's a bubble.
That's what I mean. So when the bubble starts to go, starting to jump in now, when I'm already in a lot of stuff, it's almost like it's too late, even though I know it's probably not. I feel like it is. So I'm still trying to play it safe right now because I've already did a lot of those trades. I've already benefited from the move in Bitcoin this year greatly, benefited from the move in Ethereum, benefited from the move in Apple, Tesla, Google, Amazon, BTBT. I've been able to sell all of those this year. I've been really happy. So it's worked out really well. And I'm still holding most of my Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs and stocks and miners, and all of my Bitcoin and Ethereum. I haven't sold any of that either yet. So I feel like we still have a huge run for Bitcoin.
I think so too.
Yeah,
I think we're going to have a healthy pullback just to trend line. Actually, let's talk about Bitcoin before we get into the rest. Because
Bitcoin has been really, quietly up 86% this year.
Exactly. I remember Goldman Sachs calling it their best performing asset. We actually have Goldman Sachs in here too, because one thing that I think we need to talk about, and just like you're saying, we have to be strict to reality in, yes, we've just seen 7 months of highs, and I've been selling too. I sold my Airbnb, got just 32% profit. I was in just over $100. So I sold it just over 130 earlier this week. So I sold my Airbnb.
Well done.
Thank you.
That's what we love to talk about, guys. Buy low, sell high. You want to be 75 to 85% large caps, 15 to 25% more risky plays. And you want to use those risky plays and sell them when they're up to buy more dividend stocks and large caps that give you protection in your portfolios.
That's it.
You don't want to get decimated by holding too many small risky trades. And one thing I feel really proud of is I've been turning a lot of people that are Shiba Inu, Ripple holders into Bitcoin holders.
Well done.
Yeah, because I just feel like I'm trying to explain to people, like, you can't be a real Bitcoin or crypto enthusiast and not own a little bit of Bitcoin.
Exactly. If you want to just throw your money out the window, we'll come and catch it.
Like when you talk to me about Shiba Inu or Doge or Ripple, I like it. Don't get me wrong, but that's like 1% of my portfolio.
Yeah.
71% of my portfolio is Bitcoin.
As it should be. And you know what? It's the same with stocks, is that you don't want to have, and then we talk about this, like usually the 80 or 85% in solid stocks, so that if things go awry, you're not going to get murdered. You just have a little bit of drama, because sometimes the drama can be a lottery ticket, but if you don't have any safety in there, you're going to get screwed. So
100%.
like I did a little play on BlackBerry earnings, and it was risky. Okay. I was like really nervous, but earnings were coming out last week. So I got in and I actually ended up taking a nice profit. So I got back out of my BlackBerry. I still had some hot 8. So I sold my hot 8. I sold most of my Bitfarms. I have a little bit left. Actually just yesterday. And I was like, I talked to you about it. It was hurting me because it came up, because I had been in under 150, and then it came up to 202. I think it was 202. And I was like, Bitcoin was starting to come down. And so I sold, and then it went all the way up to like 220. I was like, FOMO. I sold too soon, but whatever, because you got to just stick to your guns, right?
Listen, I'm going to tell you something. I'm really good at selling in profit.
Yeah,
I do not let my profits disappear. Like that's just something I do not do. I've been around too long to let my profits disappear. I don't care if it's real estate. I don't care if it's stocks. I don't care if it's crypto. I don't care if it's NFTs. I literally sold NFTs earlier this year, and then they started to go down. Like, I don't care. I have no sympathy about selling in profit.
Like a robot.
That's why I invest. I invest to win, right?
Right.
What I struggle with, and I know this, is selling when I'm down. That hurts my soul so bad. That hurts
everybody's soul, because we're human beings.
Yeah, because when you take money that you work for and then you put it into something and then it shrinks and then you sell it, you feel like it's the biggest kick and you don't know how to handle it. And for me, it's a struggle. So what I've learned through that and learning about myself as an investor, don't invest in bad deals. Just do it, right? So do the due diligence, invest small amounts of money in risky trades, invest large amounts of money in dividends and sure things. And nothing's a sure thing when you invest, but as sure of a thing as possible. So if you're buying real estate, they say location, location, location. Do the research. drive around your neighborhood. Make sure you're not buying in the wrong area.
Right.
It's the same thing with stocks. Make sure with stocks, you're investing in a company that's making money, growing in revenues, is checking all the boxes, has a tight share structure. That's one of the reasons why I believe in Bitcoin so much, because they check all the boxes. Tight float, great technology, massive global adoption, massive institutional adoption, Bitcoin halving coming. They're literally checking every single box. So it's very hard for me to sell Bitcoin or sell anything Bitcoin related right now, because I really believe it's going to go much higher. And I feel like even though it's up 86% this year, not that it can't go down because it's up 86% this year. But
yeah, but I think it's only going to test trend line. That's why I just drew the trend line here.
Yeah, like I feel like we're looking at like a 2.5 year bull market for Bitcoin right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's extremely exciting.
We've returned. I mean, yes, I've been calling this a danger zone, but this is the zone that beautiful things can happen. Because beautiful things have happened here before. So, you know, we have a little bit of a drama right now with the rate hike. And yes, I do think being at all-time highs, there's going to be some profit pulled. And I know a lot of Bitcoiners have been pulling off that little bit of profit here. So is it going to last? Highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. Because now that we have institutions in here, institutions are seeing these trend lines and they're seeing what's happening. So of course they're going to be, this is accumulation nation right now. So I fully expect that we're going to have a pullback back into this mode somewhere. And then I wouldn't doubt if the rocket starts, because this is rocket material. This is right where we are. So, you know, when we were here last week, they were talking about, people were like, oh no, all the ETFs got canceled. They didn't. They weren't canceled. They just needed to have a little bit more clarity. SEC was stalling, clearly. They wanted a little more clarity on the filings. It surely didn't get canceled. That means it's not off the table. So
no, it means that they're doing everything properly so it can be approved. And that's exciting.
That is exciting.
That's exciting. Now, in some ways, it's going to bring more shorting. More institutions is going to bring more shorting. So you need to be aware of that. There's going to be some
need to be aware of the targets that institutions are going to be hitting.
It's going to be crazy volatility. It's going to be crazy volatility. So you know, institutions that were buying at 15 and 16, when they started getting in at 15, 16, the smart ones, they're selling right now at 30.
That's right.
They're doubling their money.
Because they just got a $100 on it.
Yeah, so that's why there's so much resistance right now. But when we get through that resistance, we get through all of that selling, my goodness, like the sky's the limit.
This is the zone. So I think all we need is a little pullback for the rocket fuel. That's it. Because like you said, I mean, there's a big wall of sellers right now, and we've seen that before. And I think there's going to be some drama that's going to come through in the retail investors, like, oh no, what's happening? The sky is falling. And then when you least expect it, those institutions are going to see that trend line and be like, let's go. So I think we just got to be ready for it. And I think this is the pullback area. So hang tight. And this is pretty much the go zone. So as soon as we have that next pullback, it should be super juicy. And like the NASDAQ never fails these days, does it?
Been on fire.
Unbelievable. Like,
and Bitcoin and NASDAQ kind of go together. It has been for a while.
Because they're tech, it's innovation.
Yeah. Bitcoin is technology, NASDAQ is tech. They just go together. And weirdly enough, there's a couple trades that haven't moved, even though they're heavily correlated to Bitcoin. Now, one is Tesla, that's done well, but a couple like PayPal.
Tesla's chart looks like Bitcoin these days again.
No, I know. Tesla's moving with Bitcoin and the NASDAQ, but PayPal isn't. Square isn't.
I know. I've been waiting on my Square. My Square's just been sitting dead. I got in just over 60.
That's what I'm trying to say. So
like a couple months ago.
The trades, PayPal and Square or Block now, those are the trades I'm looking at right now.
I think I don't like PayPal as a use case, but they still are getting used. And so not long ago, we looked at the financials, we looked at PayPal. I actually think it could rocket.
I just mean like, you know, like you look at everything that's gone up and you look at the stuff that hasn't gone up, and PayPal and Block went down when Bitcoin went down, but PayPal and Block have not gone up, and everything else around it has gone up.
Yes.
So
And do
that's
you
when you
notice?
start looking at those and you start saying, these guys are next, just like Google and Amazon
That's
were
right.
way behind Meta and way behind Tesla. But now Google and Amazon are starting to make their move and
That's right.
Apple's
It's the
making their move. So
relay.
it's like eventually all the good plays will make their move. And
And these are all in the NASDAQ. That's why the NASDAQ has not stopped. It's just a straight line up. Like
I've
when
been
you look at
I've been
the
in
US
all those
30,
trades. I'm like in all those trades. Literally
yes,
been in all those trades. But I was in PayPal and Block and I traded and made money and now they're down again. So I'm really thinking about buying those again. Just so
well,
you
like, I
guys
mean,
know,
look
that's a
at the
tip,
US
right?
30. These are the Warren Buffett boring stocks. Sorry, but they're boring to me. And then, so here's the US 30, kind of dead, flatlined at the top. And then here's the NAS. Look at that explosion. It's gorgeous. It's
Oh
like a
yeah,
work of art.
Nasdaq's been absolutely on fire. So that's why I've been saying, like, personally,
Yes.
we're looking at getting close to all-time highs in the market
Mhm.
in the summertime when everybody said we're going to be in a recession. This is
Yes.
starting to remind me of the bubble that happened in 2021,
You got it. Same. I was just going to say that.
where the market went up and there was no reason for it to go up because everyone was in the middle of a pandemic. We're all stuck in our houses, but yet the market's going up. It didn't make any sense.
We'll look at
And
it right now. Like you
that's
see,
what's
the
happening
Russell
again.
2000 is going up. And when the pandemic started, we saw the Russell 2000, all the small caps are rising, just like the NASDAQ. The Russell 2000 and the NASDAQ, look at these two, are both rising right now. And the US 30 and the SPX are kind of like meh. Isn't it gorgeous?
Yep.
So look at the Russell 2000. So this is the small cap index. There's a nice little pump on here, isn't there?
Yeah, but the
Remember I
small
called
caps
this-
haven't moved yet. I think the small caps are going to have to make their move soon. So there will be a time for us to really take advantage of the small caps. And I think that time is coming. Probably September, October, we're going to see them really explode. It might even start right now.
It looks like it is.
Yeah.
Because honestly, it's been sitting at the bottom. When you look, okay, here's the Russell 2000, take a gander at that chart. When you're looking at the US 30, it looks like they've almost switched off. There is a switch off. This is quite a bit higher and the Russell 2000 is down here. As people start to take the profits off the large caps, which we're doing because that was our safe zone before, they move into small caps. And so this is like, it's like the relay, you know? Yep. We want to see the Russell right up here, kind of like the US 30 is playing pretty much in that zone. And I think it's absolutely coming because there's been quite a bit of liquidity has gone into the banks lately. And it's not going into large caps. I think it's coming into here. Speaking of, let's take a look at oil. Oil's creeping. We got a couple oil stocks to look at today. I think we got to be really cautious about this at the end of the month because at the end of the month is when we see rate hike and the rate hike can affect oil. Always does.
And oil, typically in the summertime, oil is not going to be as expensive because, you know, heating costs and stuff. So I think that this is usually the best time to start thinking about buying oil in the summer. And you're typically going to see the price of oil will go up in the winter and in the fall where people are spending more money to heat their homes and spending more money to do those types of things. So that's typically when you see the prices of oil and gas go a little bit higher. So
well, there's proof of that right in the chart if you look historically. So here was like
exactly
right here you see it. This is wintertime.
Yeah. So you want to be positioning yourself now for the move in oil and gas because we typically, you know, this is the summer and oil's been bouncing between 65 and 80 all year.
But look it did that before. And then as soon as the end of the year comes, we end up here.
Hey, listen,
then we have a little pullback,
I would be very
complacency
happy.
run.
I would be very happy if that happens at the end of the year. You know this.
And you know what? There's been a tightening on supply as well, right? Because Saudi doesn't want to let as much go. Then there's, you know, all the Russia drama, and I don't see why we couldn't see that. So I think it's going to be a little bit volatile until the end of the summer, but then history repeats itself. And this to me looks pretty much just like this. So we're bottom up traders. That's why we look at this stuff. So I got a little spattering of oil in here. But I think if you want to play some drama, we got to take a look at this. So people are just digesting the fact that Powell just said we're going to have a couple consecutive rate hikes. This is July. Like you said, we haven't had a pullback and we're 2 months late from our normal pullback. We've been getting paid for 7 straight months, nonstop. It's not dramatic to have a pullback. It's a normal, healthy market. It's just caused by some rate hikes this time.
Yep.
So I think pay very close attention. The dollar is going up, gold is going down, and all the volatility indexes are looking healthy. Check this. So I'm just going to go through these ones quickly so we can get into some stocks. So in May, let me back out a little bit more. There we go. So we topped out in February. Kind of seems like that could happen again.
Yeah.
This is the short-term futures ETF.
Yep.
Again, if we're going to see these rate hikes start, this is where these volatility indexes are going to start waking up. And they're definitely waking up from a pretty intense bottom.
Well, yeah, because when everything has gone down, now what you're doing is looking for things that can go up. When everything's gone up, now you're looking for things that can go down. This is how you make money if the market goes down. So this is a smart trade. This is the type of trades I like to look for. Smart trades like this that you can actually make money with the volatility and make money with the market going down from highs. Because we're at highs, so you know that at some point they're going to go down. The question is when.
Right. So all these volatility indexes, I mean, these are a good time, not a long time, because when the market gets healthy, they're going to come back down. Right. This is like a playing against the market.
Yeah. And they're like literally at the bottom.
Literally eating the dust, which is great.
Wow.
That's where the money is. So this is the Dow short.
Yep.
So as we look, so the Dow is US 30 for anybody that doesn't know. And as we looked, this is pretty much exactly this chart inversed, right?
It's so funny how the market works because last year everybody gave their money to shorters, and this year the shorters are giving their money right back.
You know it. They're probably just going to come in here and tap these just to like hedge that out if they're not tapping Bitcoin.
See, I like these types of trades because I don't like to short because they're super risky. But this is a way to short the market without having the risk because you own a stock.
That's right.
You don't have to worry about a margin call.
You have to borrow shares. And
yeah, you're not buying on margin. You don't have to worry about a margin call. You're buying a stock so you can hold it as long as you want.
Exactly. So, I mean, truly, if you come in to short the Dow between like now and Powell's little rate hike increase, because historically, every time he increases a rate, it gets ugly. So, you know, and it's bound to get ugly because we're at an all-time, well, we've been touching that high and it's rejected so many times. So there's good profits in here. And you don't even have to be a rocket scientist to see where the supports and resistances are.
Look at that. Hey, that's a good trade right there too. Shorting the NASDAQ right now.
Right.
Great trades. Great smart trades, Amanda. Very smart trades. SQQQ, guys, if you want to short the NASDAQ. And SDOW if you want to short the Dow Jones. Great trades. Smart.
It's true because I mean, even if the NASDAQ, even if the companies in the NASDAQ are still healthy, when interest rate is hiked, people have to cover their butts. And how do they cover their butts? They sell some shares that are in profit. When they sell shares that are in profit, it doesn't mean the company's going to crap. It doesn't mean it's all over. It just means that entities that are larger than us need to pad their pockets. Otherwise, their bottom line doesn't look so good. So yeah, this is pretty juicy, actually, if you ask me. Okay, here's the VXN. NASDAQ, again, NASDAQ Volatility Index. It big spikes and valleys, so just be a little bit careful. This is one we added not too long ago. So this is short the Russell 2000. This one, because we just talked about the Russell 2000 looking like it's ready for a spike, I wouldn't stay in this one too long. Because it really seems, and I agree with Rich TV, as soon as like August, September, October starts coming, I really think that once the real estate market starts correcting more, real estate, there's going to be a lot of people, especially with the interest rate hike, there's a lot of people priced out of their mortgages. When people get priced out of their mortgages, they're looking for that quick way to make money. The quick way to make money for them on a psychological level is going to be hitting the small caps. And the small caps is where the Russell 2000 lives. Hey, Soundhound got added to the Russell 2000. You see that?
Wow. Yeah, I did. That's AI stock.
Yes, and
Hot
that
AI
was what
stocks.
accounted for their huge hike because they got some fat liquidity out of that. So yeah, if you're going to short the Russell 2000, just be careful. Okay, VIX futures is a goodie as well.
Yeah, more
Sitting at
futures.
453 and just March spike gives you 565%. Oh, that's not so bad. Now, the last time we saw a big dip in the market, it was October. So we're going to take this just to that October dip, because you remember the market got super, super hot in January.
Yep.
But we had from July to October, we had a pretty decent run up. Then October, we had a pretty healthy retrace on the market. This takes you there. That's almost 1,600%.
Wow.
On the UVIX.
That's insane.
Just to take us to an October dip, which I think we can absolutely see if we have these rate hikes. So word up on that. And then we have this little baby. The VIX-M is the midterm futures. Midterm futures, again, definitely set for a correction. Not as big of a spike, but still, I mean, can't complain on 80 to 100% when the rest of the market is going cruddy. So that's why I had to bring these up. Mind you,
very smart trades.
Not so bad, huh? But remember, good time, not long time. So we just
all
have
about
to
timing. It's all about timing, and with the market at tops, these are all very good trades.
I agree 100%. Another thing we're going to get into is when interest rate hikes go up, you know who benefits? Insurance companies.
Yep.
Insurance companies benefit very well when there's interest rate hikes because they're in a lot of bonds and whatnot that don't pay them too well when there's no interest rate hike. So we got a little bit of that, but then we had some catalysts this week on some smallies that I want to talk about. And then we can have our little AI debate. Okay, Meta. You brought up Meta. It's at 3 is my favorite number, so 3% today, but that's a pretty big daily spike. Oh, yeah. I'm not a fan of Meta, but I can't deny that it's been straight up since that October dip that I mentioned. So I told Rich TV I'd put my foot in my mouth, but not on camera.
I always say you cannot get emotional when you talk about investing, okay? Take the emotion out of it. Facebook or Meta is a company that is a tech company that makes a ton of money in advertising. So I knew they had a lot of money. They have a ton of money in the bank. So when you, just like Apple, so when you have a lot of money in a tougher market, you're going to stand out.
Yeah.
What they did is they started to take a step back from the metaverse because that's what took the stock down. And they started focusing more on creating reels and making their platform a platform where influencers can get paid. So now influencers are going to use Facebook because there's 2 billion users there, and they're going to try to get paid as an influencer there, similar to the way you can on TikTok or YouTube. So Facebook's made some nice adjustments. And now what the news is for Facebook is they created another new product called Threads through Instagram, where they're going to be competing directly with the text version of Twitter, which is the real reason why Elon Musk wants to fight Mark Zuckerberg, because he realizes that Meta is going after Twitter with their technology. And that's one of the reasons why he wants to fight him, because he realizes he's going after him.
Okay.
Right?
And Elon, you know what? Elon just made a big mistake with Twitter. Cutting people on the browsing is such a big mistake.
Yeah. I think they're just creating a product called Threads where you're going to be able to like type messages with this to the same community on Instagram that you already have. So who knows how effective it'll be. But if it's another revenue stream that generates billions of dollars, which it probably will be, because Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp, all these products underneath Meta are just getting bigger and better because they kind of leverage each other and the network very, very well. Because you have 2 billion users. Big, right?
I just want to be really careful here because we're in a pullback zone. I'm not going to say that we're not going to reach all-time highs again.
No, I'm not telling you to be buying this at this point. What I'm
Yeah.
trying to say is this has been one of the single greatest trades of the last year.
Well, it has
It has
rocketed.
gone
So
from
let's see, the October
$80,
dip to now brought us at
$80.
250%.
Yeah, it went from $80 to $296, a 250% move in less than a year.
Cray.
That's an amazing move for a huge company.
Yeah.
So it's not every day you make 250% on Meta. So it
Yeah,
had to
it's
go
true.
down so that it became super underappreciated and oversold.
Mm-hmm.
An amazing buy opportunity for everyone with smart money, except for me, because I didn't buy it. And I'm
I
really
didn't either because I was hating on
frustrated that I
him.
didn't buy it because I was watching it and I knew it was a good buy. I just didn't pull the trigger. Because of the metaverse play, I wasn't sure how they were going to get out of that.
Yeah, same.
And they've got out of it with flying colors, and it's been one of the single greatest trades of the last year. And it
I
really
did just see
I
that their
didn't buy
last
it.
quarter, they weren't so red. So they look like, they're probably going to work on recovering. So as
I
you
would
can
wait
see
for
here,
another
last
dip.
quarter, they
I
were
would
showing
wait
us
for another
positive.
drop, another severe dip to buy this. I wouldn't
Yeah.
want to buy this at this point. I just
Yeah,
think it's
because
been
it
one of the
hasn't had a
single.
pullback at that 250. So like we're saying, 250% profits. If you believe that their next quarter is going to be good, their next earnings July 26th. So if they do well, but if they don't, that could be the pullback. So Rivian,
I
they've
like
been doing
Rivian.
well. And
I like
saw
Rivian.
Lucid
They
is doing
just
well as
started
well.
delivering in Europe.
Yes.
So the fact that they're delivering now and directly competing with Tesla, taking market share from Tesla is, guys, and this is only at $20. This is a type of trade that could be a life changer. Because can you go to their all-time?
Oh yes, I sure can.
Look at that.
Now
So-
we were trading it back then. I actually never owned Rivian but I mean, I was frothing all over it because I mean, that's a 10 bagger.
Yeah, I never traded either. But I think, if Tesla can do what it's doing and this can take some of that excitement, we can maybe see $100 stock.
That's right.
So there could be another 40%, 400% upside from here, or maybe even more if they're able to start eating into Tesla's market share.
Well, and you know what? We knew eventually someone was going to, it's just that Tesla came first. But I mean, we're at 165% profit just to resistance. So I see a resistance here at about $41. So you always want to go a little before that just to make sure there's buyers to pick up what you're selling. But that's looking pretty juicy. And knowing that, they're not just an idea now, that means a lot.
100%.
Speaking of, I got to bring this baby out. So I brought Blade out just like a couple months ago, but now we got to talk about it. Did you see that the FAA approved in Dubai the first flying car?
Oh, wow. No.
Yes, this was just last week.
Crazy.
The FDA, and it's on the news and you can find it on Google. The FAA approved the first flying car to be tested. So they're flying this super cool thing all over Dubai.
Wow.
Now, Blade is planning on expanding their flying car partnership into Europe.
Wow.
They're at $4.
Yeah, I mean, hey, this is why we do these, right? Is to find
Right.
these trades. And guys, I have a notepad and pen, and I'm legitimately taking notes. And I would
I
suggest
just
you do
think
the same
it's so
thing.
cool when you talk about innovation. Like there literally is a flying car flying around Dubai right now.
Yeah, that is super cool.
Right. And so as long as no parts fly off it and decapitate anybody, because that's a risk.
Yeah, that's the
why
part I didn't
Tesla said he
understand
was
is
a
how do
flying
you
car.
approve flying cars? Because the airspace is a very interesting thing, because like if there's a bunch of flying cars everywhere and they crash, then they fall on the people. So how does that work?
No, just
and there's no
that.
stop signs and there's no, there's no lights up in the sky yet. So how do you like police it all? And how do you, there's no roads.
I imagine you'd
so
have to file a flight plan. Like people can fly helicopters, which is like a small plane of sorts.
That's right.
It's like a capsule plane. People can fly helicopters around. I reckon that it would be similar to that. But then, I mean, drones have a big drama around airspace. And I remember Elon Musk talking about why doesn't he make a flying plane? And he was like, imagine a muffler falls off.
That's what the thing I'm saying is, like, something falls or there's an accident, and then these
Right.
cars, they're dropping on people or dropping on buildings, dropping
That's
on
it.
houses. I just see it being potentially catastrophic.
Potentially, but the hype on this could be potentially awesome.
Oh,
So that's why I had
course.
to bring it up, but I think it could be super volatile because if someone gets decapitated by a nickel, it's going to be a bit of a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Just keep that one on stock. Now, we talked about hypercharge going up last week, and this baby did. She's been going up.
Yep.
There's been some green. It's been looking healthy.
Nice to see.
And this is where I think we're in the time now that all these governments are closing up on their deadline to electrify vehicles because they're talking about cows and cars causing climate change. So either way, this is when I think they're all going to be a winner. I really do. Because when you have a big old hype run, and that's like lithium, electric vehicles, we just saw what happened with Rivian. These guys all have to charge their cars. Wallbox, ChargePoint, what's the other one? Blink. So not just hypercharge, I think they're all setting up for rockets, and they've been showing signs of life.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, I
That's a
got
smart
back
idea.
into NBM.
Electric vehicles and then charging solutions companies for the electric vehicles. Very, very smart trades right now.
Yep.
I agree with that.
I picked NBM back up.
Oh, well done.
So I sold it around here. Last time I got in at 27. This time I got in at 33.5, I think it was. So yes, a little early, but I was just scared to get missed. So in my trading plan, if we come back to that 27, I'll pick it up a little, I'll double down. But I just couldn't miss it. So I could be a little early, but I'm not worried about it. It could be a little early, but it's not going to be a drama. Now, speaking of AI, looks like the dip got bought and picked up.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So Palantir, actually, we need to zoom into the 4-hour just that you can get like a better lowdown. And I was freaking going to buy it, and I'm so mad at myself. I was thinking of buying it here in this zone, but there's another one that I want to talk about that I had to average down on because I bought too soon, which annoyed me. And so I didn't get back on this one. I never owned it yet. I didn't get on this, but it was looking like it was kind of healthy. I saw these like 3 green candles and only 1 red. And I was like, maybe I do, maybe I don't. But I bought AI instead. And I'm up on that, just over 10% right now. So stoked about this. But anyways, Palantir's on its way. It came off that dip.
high.
I did buy AI.
Oh my goodness.
So this same little
that
drama
trade.
that I saw in
I think
Palantir, I bought this baby.
I think you need to get out of that trade soon.
I'm going to. I actually literally have a sell order at 42, but I might even just sell it at end of day today.
Like, AI is a straight hype play, guys.
It is a hype bubble. Like, these things are volatile AF. They're like good time, not a long time.
But when you're
So
buying in
you gotta
sell zones,
respect the
you have to be
resistances.
really careful, because when you're buying in sell zones, you got to be ready to sell.
No. I bought in a buy zone.
No, but I mean a sell zone, like it's up like
It's
100%.
coming up to it, exactly. So I had set my order for 42, but the truth is I'm probably going to get out before the end of my market today. Because it came up only about 5% and then it struggled.
Yeah, you're buying way too high because everyone knows they have no revenues and it's just hype right now.
C3 does have some revenues, but
no, but I mean, like, they're not revenue generating, they're still losing money.
Fair enough, but this is a bubble.
Profitable.
So I like trading bubbles at times, but what I'm saying is you have to be careful about where you get in and get out.
What did I tell you about that toggle one? What happened with that toggle one? Remember I told you got in too high?
I just said I had to average down on it because I got like it was freaking rough.
And when you bought it, what did I say to you?
You're like, it's gonna come down like 100%. So now I'm down like 35% total, and I had to average down to get to 35 because I bought it way high.
I've been around so long, and it's happened to me so many times that I just.
Well, I've been around just as long as you, Pfizer. So, anyways.
So why would you get in so high when you know that it was already up hundreds of percent?
It actually wasn't up hundreds of percent anymore. It was actually only up 150%. So regardless of that, 150%. I averaged, yes, but it had been up 400%. So anyway. I know you're still holding some stuff, Mr. Perfect.
No,
that
no,
you're
no. Hey, listen,
done.
I'm not saying
These are the things that happen. However,
I don't make
I've
mistakes.
made up for it in others,
I'm
so it's
holding
not a
lots of
drama.
things that I've gotten from bad trades
Right.
over the years. And that's why I have this this thing now where I'm just like super selective about
Yeah.
everything I buy. Because
I like to play a little here and there. And I did. And you know what? It wasn't even the end of the world because I didn't put too much on it. So I really actually don't care. But regardless of that, I put a pretty substantial amount down on C3 because I liked that dip. So now SoFi. We got to talk about SoFi.
That's one that I own.
I sold my SoFi, but I'm actually considering owning some more.
Really?
So I sold it in profit, mind you, that was no drama. However, what just happened? Supreme Court ruled that there is no forgiveness on student loans. And who's holding the most in student loans? With SoFi, because they have a nice rate. So one thing is that I was reading a few of these, and they were saying SoFi stock is already baked in most good news on student lending. I actually don't agree with that. I really don't agree with that. I think what it did was it rocketed up because a lot of us own SoFi kind of high. Like I remember my average being like $13. And then when it was down in this like $4 or $5 area, I was like, oh my God, I'm down so much. It was painful. So I averaged down and averaged down. I got out a nice profit, but I actually want to get back in. So are you in profit right now?
No, I got in 2021 when the market was higher, right? So I've got to wait till 15.
Okay, so that would have been me if I didn't average down. These things happen, right? There's other ways to do it. Can it go back there? Absolutely, and I think it will. So
when
I've
I
just
bought
been
it, I
trying to
thought I
look
was
for
going
a
to sell it
target.
at 30, and that
What's
was
that?
when I bought it at 15. I thought I would sell it at 30.
Yeah, yeah.
Boy, was I
And
wrong.
I think you still will be able to. It's on its way back up. Look at the chart.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean that's the thing is when I bought it in 2021, the market was super hot, like we're having right now.
Yeah.
So from learning from those experiences, I'm not going to jump into anything that's already up because I feel like there's going to be a severe drop at some point.
There is.
And I don't know when. It could be next year. You know, it could be the year after. It could
I
be the
think
second
between
half
now
of this year.
and December, we're going to see a huge drop. And that's why I think it's important that we set our targets for what we want. So I think a good target to get back into SoFi would be around that 650 level. Can it go down to that $5 again? Sure can. But you have to have that conversation with yourself, right? So
Yep.
I see a nice uptrend, but I think that we're going to have some drama pullback. So I'm looking for a target and I do want it back in my life. So I think that's going to be a good one. Now, these guys we got to go through, these were all in your top 10 and these were IPOs. I usually don't like trading IPOs because they scare me, but sometimes I do anyways. Because what's the problem with IPOs is you have a lot of early investors who got in on the cheap and they wait to sell off to people getting in later. But sometimes they prove you wrong. So this guy doesn't seem to have a pullback. This was one of them, Carvana.
Yep.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, that's one of the IPOs that came out and has done really well so far.
And then there was this one, EDR.
EDR is the company that is the UFC that was partnered with the WWE. So I just feel like they've got two huge entertainment companies working together. And I just feel like it's at a good price. I mean, it seems really cheap for the two businesses that are in it. I think this could be a huge long-term trade.
How's the WWE stock doing? It's just called WWE, isn't it?
I think they're EDR now. Oh, there it is. It's still there.
They're still trading.
Yeah, they're still there. But I think it's going to be EDR at some point. It's going to be just the one. But yeah, look, WWE is $108.
Yeah. I forgot about this.
So,
holy snap. Did this baby ever rocket this year?
Yeah, so that one took off.
Wow.
And then EDR is partnering with WWE. And I'm like, well, at some point, EDR is going to take off.
Yes. Okay, cool. Good to know.
So that's why I like them.
Now, this one I hadn't heard of.
Yeah, this is another IPO. It's another IPO that just came out, FIHL.
Insurance.
Yep.
So insurance, like I was saying earlier, this is one sector that does really well during rate hikes because a lot of them are invested in bonds, and bonds do well when there's rate hikes. So good call on this one. Decent pullback, but not too bad.
Earl
Okay.
makes a comment. Hey, Earl, how you doing?
Hi, Earl.
Thank you for joining us on our show on the weekend, the Bull and Bear show. Earl says 4 banks sitting with 520 billion in underwater U.S. bonds ain't gonna help. Plus banks in liquidity crunches.
Yes.
Yes. So
It is absolutely.
yeah, and that's true. You know,
Mhm.
and mortgage rates going up, which Amanda's been saying is going to potentially cause a housing crisis, which
Exactly.
hasn't really happened yet, and a commercial real estate crisis, which hasn't happened yet on a full large scale. But we believe at some point something bad could happen. So be aware of that.
Absolutely. So, I mean, everything's kind of lining up to be like the drama of the 90s, which, I mean, if you didn't know about that stuff, look into it. Okay, I was interested to see that you got a couple of restaurant ones in here because we were talking about fast food restaurants.
Yep.
Summer is the hottest time for fast food restaurant stops because everybody's on vacation. Parents aren't at home cooking for their kids because, you know, usually people work when their kids are at school. So this is a time for these kinds of things to fly. So I'm grateful that you brought these guys up. Kodiak Gas Services.
Yeah, KGS new IPO, GENK new IPO, TAST is another food stock, and I just feel like food in this type of market environment is a good way to go, a good way to invest because people are looking at things that they really need right now to invest in. I think people are throwing away like the hype as much as like back in the day, like even a couple of years ago, people would buy anything if it moved. But now people are, I think, starting to invest in things that they know are going to exist, like Apple, like Meta, like Amazon, like Google, like Bitcoin. They're not going anywhere. So that's why people are buying them.
Yes.
Like Netflix. It's not going anywhere.
I don't think it's a good idea to be buying stuff right now at a 52-week high. Please, let's make that clear to
No,
anybody.
we're not telling you to buy that. We're just telling you that that's what's going on. So where I'm looking as an investor now is I'm looking at things like you said, you talked about travel. Travel's doing well now. Food is something people are always going to need. So I think food companies, restaurant companies, these types of businesses are going to be good opportunities in the market as well. Right. So that's why I brought them.
I agree. GitLab, this is a tech stock. Even though they IPO, they're holding
AI stock. GitLab is an AI stock. So I put that on the list because it's an AI
let
stock.
me add it to my AI
and Docs is an AI stock too, DOCS. Another company that I added to the list that's an AI stock. So that's why they're on my list.
Added. AMKR, what's these guys?
MKR.
I see. Amcor Technology Services that may have received
AI as well. That was
AI
another AI play.
Okay.
So 3 new AI plays on my top 10. Those are
AI is a complete bubble, but I'm playing in the bubble just very carefully here and there. Sometimes you'll go up, sometimes you go down. You have to be prepared and don't spend your life savings on it. Value Village, I was actually excited for this one. And when it finds a bottom, I think it could be good because their revenue stream is next level.
Yeah, Value Village is great. It's a great business.
Stock on donation.
That's right. They have a great business model. They get everything in donation and they turn around and sell it for profit.
That's
it's an amazing business model. So
they're a brick and mortar store. So their only real expense is going to be their store and their staff. And I think a lot of them are volunteer anyways. So I mean, when you have a store and everything's donated, it's good revenue.
Oh yeah.
So I'm actually excited for this one to bottom out. I'm just going to tag that. Now we're just going to and I'm going to rapid fire these, but I just wanted to give you examples of stocks that do well when interest rates go up. I've back tested these and they pretty much all run true. So do your own DD. Richard and I are not financial advisors. We're just pretty damn good traders. So economically and statistically, I think we need to be setting targets for things like this at the end of the month. And at the end of the month is when Powell brings out all the bad news. So we have MPC, Marathon Petroleum. I think this is going to be a good one to target in the very near future. And I think we have a dividend on here, don't we? 2.5. Meh. It's all right.
Hey, any dividend I can get my hands on, I'm excited about.
Exactly. United Rentals, I wanted to take off because this is too high for my liking. Phillips 66. Now, I'm not being super selective about which guys I think are good. And I don't mean to be like, you know, gender specific. By guys, I just mean
Amanda, you know we have 6 minutes left?
no. Why does this hour always go so fast? All right.
I just looked at the time. I was like, yo, we have 6 minutes left.
We're both known for talking too much for too long. Okay, I will rapid fire. These are the juicy ones, I think, for the end of the month. Set your damn targets.
I'm writing them all down. Go.
Phillips 66, 4.39% dividend. That can get your butt through a little mini recession to Christmas Alley. Christmas rally, just saying. ALL, Allstate Corporation. Reason I brought up Allstate, they're looking at a really good buy zone. Their insurance, they're heavily invested in bonds, and bonds make a lot of money when when interest rates go up, 3.22% dividend. Another one, big insurance company, AmTrust, X-nay on the dividend, but the stock's looking juicy. Then Travelers. Travelers is a really big insurance company. And do we have a dividend? 2.3%. Stock looks super juicy and they stand to make more money when interest rates go up. Goldman Sachs, the reason I'm mentioning Goldman Sachs is they're one of the very few banks, aside from Fidelity, that have hedged their butts with Bitcoin. So when everything else gets slaughtered, I think Goldman Sachs has done like a MicroStrategy move and hedged their business with their Bitcoin. I think it's at a really good level, 3% dividend. I hate Charles Schwab because I think he's kind of ruined the world a little bit. However, his stock historically does really, really well when interest rates go up.
He's kind of ruined the world a little bit, but he's got a great stock.
Do that. Hate the guy, like money. Kohl's. When people need to save money, they go to the low cost places. That's where Kohl's comes in. Kohl's, ready for this? 8.16% dividends.
Oh, wow.
That's the gem of the day.
Nice. I like
$24, pretty decent upside. This baby does really good when people need to save money. Costco's at an all-time high, but it keeps breaking all-time highs. It always has, and it probably always will. Dividend is so cheap, it's not even worth mentioning, but everyone goes more to Costco. Home Depot and Lowe's. I had to put Home Depot and Lowe's because real estate crisis is coming. When there is a whole lot of real estate on the market, what do they need to do? They got to compete. In order to compete with other real estate on the market, you need to improve your house. That's where Home Depot comes in. 2.7% dividend. And Lowe's, people are going to be selling, guys. Hang tight. And Lowe's, pretty high, but it's been going up, 1.96% dividend. Again, these guys go hand in hand. Verizon has put in more 5G networks than any other communications on the planet, it seems. And they've been rising beautifully just since June. So huge uptrend on Verizon. They're just up 10% this month alone and a lot more to go. Yes. They're starting to see those revenues now come in from the 5G crap. This is another communications major, SBAC. SBA Communications, huge run up in the last month and pretty nice all-time high. We have a dividend of only 1.45, but these guys go up, and I've checked the last interest rate hikes, they go up substantially. And only one more. Oh, I rapid fired too quick. We even have some time left. Oh.
Hey, that's okay. That was
Intel.
perfect.
I've been holding Intel for so long. So here's what happened. I think most of the people in our trading club know that I fought hard to get my position in Intel. And as soon as I finally got my position in Intel, this little bugger went down. So I had to play the averaging down game. I am now up on my Intel, but besides that, it doesn't even matter. It's got a beautiful, beautiful uptrend. So when we talk about a lot of the top what do you call it, technology stocks, they do like, they play a relay, right? They cycle between each other. And we have a lot of others like IBM and Microsoft that have gone up so high. Even Cisco has had like a really good uptrend. Intel is on its way back up as well. So the dividend went lower, but I mean, at one time it was like 5% dividend. So I can see that going back up in the near future. And that's all I had to say. So yeah.
Okay. Well, we finished just on time. Thank you so much, Amanda in Mexico. This is Stocks and Stacks, episode number 7 with Amanda in Mexico. Your host, Rich from Rich TV Live in Vancouver. Thank you for watching, everybody. If you like the videos, please smash the like button, comment down below, share the video everywhere, and subscribe. And remember, Rich TV Live and Amanda, we are not licensed advisors. Please do your due diligence, do your research before you invest in anything we talk about or discuss. Amanda, can you actually stop sharing the screen for a second?
Yes. I was just showing the Powell drama on the US.
And then we can go large screen again.
Okay.
Past performance is not always an indication of future results. Just because a stock does well yesterday or last month or last year, it doesn't mean it's going to do well tomorrow. Right. So what our advice is buy low, sell high, lock in your gains, lock in your profits, put 75 to 85% of your money in large caps, dividend stocks, and safety, and only be willing to risk 15 to 25% of your portfolio on more risky trades, small caps, penny stocks. Use those small caps and penny stocks and smaller cryptos and meme coins to make money, which means when they go up, sell them, and then take the money and put it into large caps.
That's right.
And accumulate large caps. The
And
same way you would
stocks.
accumulate real estate. You can accumulate great companies and stocks. You can accumulate great cryptocurrencies so that you have money for a rainy day. That's what we like to talk about. That's what we like to teach. I hope you guys are learning. Thank you so much for your time today. If you're not winning, you're probably not watching. We bring in the winners and we bring them to you first. We do chart analysis, CEO interviews, breaking news, sports, travel, trending topics, you name it. We trade it. Now we do real estate. We're doing real estate with Amanda in Mexico. Amanda, you have anything you want to talk about with your real estate in Mexico?
All day, every day, I want to talk about real estate in Mexico. I mean, when we talk about North American markets getting, they're not down here, they're pretty hot. So talk to Rich, he'll link you up. Got you.
You want to buy a property in Mexico? It's like a fraction of what it would cost here in Vancouver and in many places all over the world. So great, beautiful properties available in Mexico. Let me know if you guys are interested. Once again, it's your host with the most, your boy Rich from Rich TV, and I'm out. Amanda, we'll see you soon. We'll see you next week.
Cheers.